talk to me first about the NFT exchange. First of all, how does it work? Who plays in it, for lack of a better word? And can it expand?
No question. First of all, it's incredible. It is totally revolutionizing the whole world of collectibles. And Aria Exchange, who I'm here on behalf, I mean, they've created this incredible platform. But what it does is it creates connectivity, which in return has experiences, and you build a relationship between a fan and, of course, an athlete. And so it's incredible. Like I said, it's changing the game. No longer is it just putting, things in your shoe closet or in a shoe box or in a closet at home, where now it's living, it's breathing, and it's a relationship that is intensified and really been enhanced. And so the NFT collectible space is really changing the nature and the whole gamut of the fan athlete dynamic. And I'm just excited to be a part of it.
Yeah, and I mean, for sure it's changing that. Is it also changing the dynamic of the players themselves and their ownership of things like their likenesses and collectibles? Does it change any of the kind of power dynamics with the actual athletes?
It does in a way. I mean, you think about it, pro athletes typically, there's no revenue when these collectibles, using an athlete's name, image, and likeness, which is a big issue in sports these days. But when it's resold amongst fans on the secondary market, athletes typically don't get a chance to participate on that. Well, with this, that changes. Athletes and the fans also get to participate financially on the secondary market. So that's something that's really a differentiator and a game changer for both the athlete and the fan.
Hey, Grant, how do you see this evolving? Like, could it move into rights, likenesses, video games, endorsement deals? Like, can you expand it?
Yes, all of the above. I mean, I think all of those are certainly possibilities. I mean, I'm an art collector. Certainly, as you look at the art world and how that has grown and evolved, this is a perfect opportunity there as well. So, like I said, it's a game changer. It is really making a difference. One of the things that I like is the speed of Aria in terms of how Aria works and how they mint these NFTs. And then, of course, accepting all different types of currency, not just cryptocurrency, and then being carbon negative, which is a real issue. As we know, environmental, being sustainable is important. But yeah, I mean, look, it is a game changer. There's many uses for it. We're just here right now in the sports world, and that special, unique relationship between athletes and fans, and how that'll only be enhanced through this experience.
I do want to ask you about another business you're involved in, because it's such an important glimpse into how the American economy is doing, and that's through Penta. You do offer loans that are in that kind of sweet spot of small business, the mezzanine space. What are you seeing out there in terms of the health of businesses, the willingness of folks to lend money? What's happening?
Well, I think overall there's a resiliency, and certainly, Penta Mezz and other mezzanines similar to that have a Small Business Administration SBIC designation. There's a real need. There's a real need for not just the capital, but I think what differentiates us is just the ability to provide resources, experience. My partners have been operators. So how to navigate these interesting times right now. Yes, money is cheap, and we encourage small business owners to go out and get as much as you can. But the value that we try to add is not just providing capital, but providing resources and the ability, we don't want to trip anybody's covenants, and that's certainly it doesn't benefit anyone to do that. So to be able to have the necessary resources to navigate these complex times and ultimately help these businesses grow, that's what it's all about. And so there's a resiliency, I think, you see with these small business owners, and certainly the ones in our portfolio have demonstrated that through some interesting times in recent years.
So just one more question on that small business in your portfolio. So all day long, we've been covering on Bloomberg the energy crisis, labor shortage, rising wages. Amazon got a downgrade because of rising wages and the supply chain issues there. What's their biggest concern? And more importantly, when you talk to the small businesses, how long do you think that that's going to last? Are they like, I'm good in 3 months, or I don't know what's going to be like in 18 months?
Well, first of all, I think some of those issues you touched on are impacting all businesses, not just small businesses. Labor shortages, supply chain issues, those are very real. And you see publicly traded companies who have been impacted by some of these challenges that exist. Obviously, they have the resources in a lot of cases to withstand that. But the small businesses as well. I mean, it's all across the map right now in terms of some of these incredible challenges that we're all experiencing. So, to be able to provide some relief, to be able to, provide an opportunity for some of these businesses to be able to survive, and ultimately the plan is to hope that they thrive as we come through this. It's a difficult time. It's a difficult time, and everyone has been impacted in some form or fashion. But you said it best: the labor shortages, supply chain issues. It's really affecting us as a global economy overall, and certainly small businesses here in the United States as well.
And of course, one issue affecting everybody, but certainly the league, is this question of vaccinations. What's your feeling about players that kind of publicly are refusing to be vaccinated, the position the league is taking? How do you weigh in?
Yeah, well, I think a very small minority of players in the NBA, as the NBA is about to start here this week, have at least voiced their concern about the idea of taking vaccines. And so, look, I mean, the league and right now the players have a pretty healthy relationship. It's a partnership. Together, we've been able to navigate some difficult times. Obviously the onslaught of COVID, and then the restart in the bubble, and the quick start to last season to get to this point where we are right now. It's not been easy for both sides, but I do think that it's really about talking, about communication, learning to understand each other and each side, and having a healthy respect for one another. But it is an issue. And I think as you throw in now some of the laws that have been enacted in California and in New York, it complicates things. So, I don't know ultimately how it's going to be resolved, but I think the health and safety is of the utmost importance. And I think players want that, players in those locker rooms, and I think the league is as well wants that. So I do think that we'll get to a point where everyone's comfortable, we can move forward. There have been bumps in the road along the way. There've been, threatening of work stoppages and all types of things. But ultimately, when it's all said and done, I think the love of the game, the desire to have a season, both sides have been able to work together to get it done. And I anticipate that happening here as well.